You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to The Money Hour on 1150 AM, KKNW, the Saturday, September 28th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Your local mortgage experts, bringing in each week into studio the best of the best so that you have the resources that you need on everything regarding your money. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We're here to connect you with a guest. So if you would like to connect with them, call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, another first-time guest for the show. We have JPorter of JPorter Business Services. Does your business need a best friend? All these great titles going into what we're talking about. Julie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Us too. And a little background about Julie. Julie is a small business specialist. She is on a mission to make the business side of business a breeze for owners. Relentlessly helpful, she works with startups, expanding companies, and established businesses to develop and grow. With over 30 years of business experience, she grew a small restaurant into a success with multiple profit centers. She is an experienced in startups, systems, finances, growth, and government, and has helped over 350 clients realize their dreams of being their own boss. Julie's passion is mentoring women small business owners. She is on the board of the Little Black Dress Party, a nonprofit that supports women and children charities, as well as a benevolent fund for women in need of legal services. She is the author of 7 Steps to Kick-Ass Businesses.
So, Julie, how did you end up becoming a small business specialist?
Well, when I got out of college, I discovered something about myself. I worked in jobs that were in the field that I had studied, and I discovered I did not have, it didn't click to be in a hierarchical form of business for me. So I took a little bit of a break, a week or two, and I got a job as a bookkeeper at a restaurant with no experience. But I like food, so a restaurant just made sense to me. And I learned on the job. And what I did find is I loved business, and that just totally clicked for me. And so I absorbed everything I could. I did every single job in that restaurant, from cleaning to dishwashing to cooking to everything, and just really enjoyed it. So I learned it from the inside out, and then I learned how to build a business, and ended up owning one. And it grew from 15 employees and about $350,000 a year to over 100 employees and $4 million a year when we sold it. So it was just a ride. But when you're a small business, it's really interesting because you're having to wear so many hats. You're doing so many different jobs. You're doing repairs. You're doing maintenance, remodels. You're doing the accounting. You're filing your taxes, dealing with every conceivable government agency out there, and then trying to navigate all that. And then you learn to tackle everything and not be afraid. And then after we sold that, I had a consulting firm, took a break to stock my children. And then I just wanted a simple little company. So I just took me and, my accounting stuff and a computer. And I started working with small business owners with their financials and helping them get strong there. But then I it just expanded into doing more of what I love, and that's kind of bossing people around. No.
the truth comes out.
Right? It's actually teaching people how to run and grow a business.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there who do the emotional side beautifully and wonderfully. And I am a very soft person, cheerleader, and supportive.
Sure.
But I also am really brass tacks about business. You have to do these things, and that's what I specialize in, teaching people how to do the backside of the house.
Yeah, love that. And not an ownership in a restaurant, but I did in my early years work for Denny's as an assistant manager. And you just brought a little fun memory to me because I did everything. Dishwasher. It's only because my dishwasher didn't show up, so I had to wash dishes.
Exactly.
But I was on the cook's line. I can flip eggs like nobody else, and I can stack more plates than anybody that I know. So, yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Love it. Oh, my God, love that. So let's talk about what advice would you have for somebody that's looking at starting a business?
I recommend that they really do their research, just dig in and learn everything about the demographics, what you're doing, how are you going to mark up your product. When you are starting a business, the thing that's inspiring you to start up that's only about 30% of a business. That other 70%, you're going to have to learn. So you might as well do it before you go. You're going to need, how to cost out your product service, licensing, choosing a legal or tax structure for your business, which is huge because that has tax ramifications that can last a long time. Sole prop partnership, LLC, corporation, get permits, choose your accounting system, get supportive apps, on and on and on. And I recommend they set routines. And even if you're a creative business, it's super important to do that. There's a lot of creatives that say, I just can't manage that stuff. But if you can't manage it because you're creative, find someone who will and hire them. But don't try to open up a business without attacking that side of it. You're leaving money on the table if you do.
Yeah, one of my professional core practices is embrace your strengths and hire out your weaknesses.
Julie, what is one of the most important things a small business owner can do?
Okay, this one drives me crazy when I go into cleanup companies, honestly. And if any of my clients are listening, you'll know what I'm talking about. You need to keep your business life business and your personal life personal in your financials. So you open up a business account and you keep your personal account, but do not use your business card for personal or vice versa. You'll find this one on the top 10 list of every good CPA in the world. But part of it is because it's mental. If you keep it separate, you're going to treat your business like a business, not an extension of your personal life. And then you're tracking things in and out, and you just become a better business owner. The other thing is the IRS cares. If you're a creative business in particular, they could actually, if you're commingling, they could treat your business as a hobby and disallow your expenses.
Yeah.
Particularly in the starting spaces. That'd be horrible. I mean, all the things that you're buying to create and produce. And so if you're audited, it's up to you to convince them that you operate a real business. And it's always on you to prove. And then at tax time, I've done this. I mean, I speak from experience because I have commingled, and you have to go. You've mingled it. Now you got to unmingle it, and you got to come up with that list. Go through all your accounts and separate them, and then add them up, and then do your taxes from there. And it's a mess. It's horrible. And then you might miss deductions, and it's horrible. You might have purchased a $500 item at Best Buy on your personal card, and you forget about it, and you don't deduct it for your business. Well, there's a third of that now Uncle Sam gets, and I don't believe in that. I think we need to keep all of our money.
Get it set up correctly and make sure you've got that all separated. So let's talk about a couple ways for small businesses to survive a Washington Department of Revenue or an IRS icky audit.
Those are horrible. I have quite a bit of experience helping people through them, and the one thing that it comes up is that in this age of no paper, you've got to keep receipts. And that even if you're storing them on the cloud or you find in a little app where you can take a picture of your receipt and store it, you have to have them because I'm in the middle of an audit with a client now, and they just came back with a list, show these, and so they're having to go back and try to find those receipts because they'll pay sales tax on every item they purchased. And for them, it might be $15,000, and that's $1,500 that they'd end up paying. So it's not, just save those receipts. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. Just stick them in an envelope and keep them, and then you've got them there. And then save your statements. You need those for backups, and if you keep them on your computer in the cloud or somewhere, but keep those because they're going to audit you for 3 or 4 years. And if you have to go back, it's $6 to $18 to get those back statements a lot of times with your banks. So keep good records. It's on you to prove you did it right. So you want to make sure that you keep them really well all along the way.
And what about all that emotional stress too? And the systems you have in place, that's such a stress reducer. Even in mine Tina's business, we have systems for everything, so it doesn't take up that space in your mind. And when you got all that riding on your business, that's got to be so stressful for you.
That's exactly right. It's overwhelming for people to think about it. And I love it when someone comes to me when they start a business, say, teach me how to do it right. And then it's just smooth going. It's wonderful. And then other times it's, if you go in and they're already being audited and they're saying, hey, they're trying to get me for $15,000, and then you got to go back in and try to get them down to zero, which is always my goal. Zero. Yeah.
You say good businesses keep good books a lot. What do you mean by that, Julie?
Well, in an analysis of business success, the quality of your bookkeeping has a huge impact on the outcome. So if you don't manage your business by the numbers, your business has less than a 50% chance of survival. So you got a 5% chance of survival if your business bookkeeping practices are poor. And I'm talking about the guy who will come to me with 5 bags of receipts and a bag of weed in the middle of it all, and that has happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was poor.
I was wondering if I heard you correctly.
That's a Washington State thing.
Yeah. So it was hilarious, actually. And then there's the person who just barely, they'll file some reports, but they're usually late and they may reconcile. Then there's the people who do good bookkeeping, and that's a 50% chance of survival. You only have a 70% chance of business survival if you keep good books. Now, for me, with that unknown out there, I'm going to make sure that I'm in that 70%. Have a 70% chance of survival, because there's 30% I can't control.
Yeah.
So I'll control what I can.
If you're a business owner, hire out a bookkeeper. Then you don't have to worry about not running into these issues. So what do you see outside of the fact they're not hiring it out? What is or maybe that is the biggest challenge that small businesses have in keeping their books?
I kind of come from the headspace that if you're starting a business, it's really good for you to understand how it's done. So understand how to reconcile, how to entry, how to do all that stuff. Get on those routines, do it, and then you can pass it off later. But then you have an understanding, and then you can read your reports. But nobody goes into business to do bookkeeping unless you're a bookkeeper. But they go because they're really good at something, or they have a fabulous product or something like that. So they're not doing it. So a lot of times they just kick the can down the road. It becomes overwhelming, and then they're stuck on a deadline late, penalties and everything else. So marketing is way more fun than bookkeeping. Nobody likes to do it. So I like teaching people how to do it, and then if they have to hand it off, I totally support that, but make sure they find someone good.
Yeah, love that.
And I mean, hire out your weaknesses. And why wouldn't you? Time is money. Why would you not call Julie or get an expert to come in there and show you the ways? First of all, you've never been a business owner before, so that's like invaluable knowledge and saving you time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us specifically, Julie, how you help companies strategically grow.
It's kind of interesting because it's really easy to say, I want to do $2 million a year next year. I want to do $10 million, but I sit down with someone and we go through the reality of what that growth looks like. So how will you X out? If you're a one-person business, what does it look like? You'll have to sell more than your time. Are you going to sell digital? Are you going to sell courses? What are you going to do? So it's, are you going to hire employees? Do you have it to get there? I have a client, we went through the whole process of it, and they decided at the end that growth really wasn't what they wanted to do right now. They want to spend time with their family, and they'll look at it again in a couple of years. And then I've got another guy, we exit all out. We're going to hire project managers. We're in the process of doing it, and he'll double his sales by next year. He's geared for that. So you have to decide, like I say, it's easy to say you want to do it, but it involves a huge commitment to grow.
Yeah, so you got to really take a look at what that whole picture looks like.
Right.
So what about your favorite thing? What do you love about coming in and doing what you do every single day?
I love working with women small business owners. I love them all. I mean, I have male and female clients, but it's such a special thing to work with women business owners who are fulfilling their dreams and creating a business. Yeah. And I think for me, because I am from that brass tacks, let's put it together side, I see that a lot of women, we've been raised to believe that we are not hardwired to manage or understand back of the house. And so I like teaching people to do that. And I love that light in their eyes and on their face when they get it and they understand. And it's wonderful helping them understand their numbers so they are empowered to do what's awesome. And, knowledge is power, and it gives them confidence. And there's nothing that looks better on a woman than confidence.
Yeah.
Julie, we're unfortunately down to 1 minute, but I wanted to give you a two-parter considering here. So first of all, what project are you working on right now? And second of all, we need to talk about this little black dress party event on October 5th.
Okay. The special project right now I'm really excited about is I'm working into government contracts, which people don't really even think about. Government spends over $500 billion a year, and so they're the biggest purchaser in the world. And they're supposed to spend 23% on products and services of that $500 billion with small businesses. So that's $115 billion that needs to go to small businesses.
Wow.
I have my certifications. I'm helping clients get certified, and we're working on networks to get government contracts. Surprisingly, real estate is one of the underserved codes that they're looking for women to fill. So they're actually looking for people to fulfill these government contracts. So it's really exciting potential. And then the Little Black Dress Party. It's just this awesome event, and it's October 5th. It's Little Black Dress is a nonprofit dedicated to raising money for local charities that focus on women, children, and families. They have a benevolent fund to provide legal and financial services. But the party is about women dressing up in their little black dresses and get together, and there's a silent auction, and there is a live auction. The live auction has kind of a twist where it is men in uniform, bachelors, that there's a date package that is auctioned off. But if you're married, you can still go and just get the date package. You don't have to take the bachelor. My husband's really relieved I haven't taken one home in all the years I've been going. But it's just a fun, entertaining evening out, and there's good food, and it's a great time, and it's for a really good cause. And
Wonderful.
It's at the Raw Bar 89 in Kirkland.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you need more information, call the show at 1-855-400-1150 or go online at themoneyhour.com. Thank you so much, Julie, for coming in, and thank you to all the listeners out there. So this is your host, Tina Mitchell, signing off for the day.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We'll be here same time, same place next weekend right here at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.